Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Cameo, what's my weakness?
Ant-Man.
Nerds to men. Oh, Ant-Man.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, Ant-Man's my my weakness. All right, here we go.
That would have been a good intro.
I'll just leave it in then.
All right.
All right. Welcome to Nerds to Men on Films. I am Brad Reed.
I'm your boy Cameo.
We've discussed my weakness already. It's ants and men. This is a spoiler conversation we're about to have regarding Ant-Man and the Wasp.
The mess
Quantumania
out of this.
I mean, who knows if we'll spoil it too hardcore. Sometimes we don't want to give away everything.
Mm-hmm.
But in the spirit of not letting one slip like Cameo likes to do, we'll just warn you, and if we don't, then even better.
Right.
We'll warn you, and hopefully we don't spoil it too bad, but just be warned that this conversation is intended for those of you who, just like us, rush out to see these movies right away.
Right.
Unless it's a movie that's been out for a while, sometimes we'll do one that, like The Menu, when it hit HBO Max or something like that. But still, a lot of people hadn't seen that one yet either, so we try not to give away too much. But if we do, let us know in the comment section while you're liking, subscribing, and doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And that'll give you notifications every time we do a nerd update or a new Nerds to Men on Films. So, at Nerd Flicks and Chill, we won't have a new Nerd Flicks and Chill this week because we just haven't been watching a lot of TV.
Yep.
But we will have one soon. We have been watching The Last of Us, so we'll talk about that again soon.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. It came out this past week. We're recording on a Sunday, and it came out and earned $225 million in its worldwide opening this weekend, Cameo.
Wow.
Just so far, some of the ratings that it's been getting on IMDb, it's got a 6.6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a pretty big difference here. The critics gave it a 47%. And you know what we think about critics, even though we try to pretend like we are some. Yeah. The audience gave it an 84%. And I think I'm with the audience on that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I'm with the audience on that. I thought that this movie was a really good movie. It wasn't the greatest of all the movies. I think it may be the best of the Ant-Man movies. It comes off weird, for an Ant-Man movie though. It almost comes off, and I enjoyed it though. But it can't. It was like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids meets Star Wars meets Mad Max.
Yep.
That pretty much cover it.
Yep.
All right, let's end the show then.
Yep.
All those were good movies, so go see this movie. It was good. But visually,
if all those movies had Paul Rudd in it, that would be Ant-Man and the Wasp.
yeah. Visually, I thought the movie was very striking at times, just great scenes, really beautiful scenes too. My wife, she said though, and I feel like this is maybe where it gets a little bit of the criticism, especially amongst the real critics. She said that she felt like it kind of jumped. It was, I don't know if I wouldn't say it jumped around a lot, but there was just a lot going on. And I kind of could agree with that. I thought towards the end of the movie, it felt a little long towards the end. I was just, but it wasn't formulaic. Remember how I said Thor was just I can already tell you what's going to happen. And in the order that it's going to happen. I didn't feel like this was that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I thought was going to happen at the end didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, and there was just, certain things that was, like you said, it was visually striking to see, because do we even know what if the quantum realm is even real, and just the whole fact that, somebody's imagination is that cool, and then you like see it like on screen.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I was just in awe more for the fact that it was like everything was just beautiful. It was almost kind of like watching Avatar again.
Right.
But
right. It was
not like aliens, because they're not technically aliens.
No.
I mean, I guess you could say it's alien because you're in a different world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It was odd. I got to say, I thought Paul Rudd was good in it, but this wasn't Paul Rudd's movie.
No.
Honestly, Johnathan Majors stole that movie. And he wasn't even in it as much as the other characters, but I was more like just sucked in by Johnathan Majors' story and his performance in this movie, his character story, Kang the Conqueror, that I think that's what made this movie so good. As good as it was, I think it was really because I think Kang is the one of the best villains that we've had in the Marvel movies so far. He's got reasons to be the bad guy, but it's not like so predictable. Like, he lost a daughter and now he's the bad guy. So is he really a bad guy? Or, where we had Killmonger, who was a pretty dope bad guy. Don't get me wrong. But Johnathan Majors, like, his villain just is villainous. He's just villainous. Yeah. And again, spoilers, like he's just wasting people just to be wasting them. He's destroying whole universes and timelines just cause. Like, he doesn't really have like that, like real, he's not so sympathetic that you feel bad for thinking he's a bad guy. He's just a good bad guy, I think. So tell me a little bit of what you thought about so far, Ant-Man and then Johnathan Majors as Kang.
Like you said, Johnathan Majors stole the show for me. I just think the way he acts. I don't know if you've seen the movie Devotion, which was about the African American fighter pilot, and I think that was like, I can't remember when it happened, but anyways, way back when, and he was awesome in that. I didn't watch all of Lovecraft Country, but the few episodes that
he was in that, yeah,
he was great. The few episodes that I saw, he just commands the screen.
Mm-hmm. He really does,
and I don't know what it is about him, but ever since I saw him, I forgot what movie it was that I first saw him in. I fell in love with the dude. Like, I was like, I got to watch all of his movies now. And I can't wait for Creed 3 to come out. I think it's next month.
Yeah, we'll definitely be. Yeah. I think we definitely have to cover. We got to watch and do a Nerdz to Men on films on Creed 3. Because I've enjoyed all the Creed movies so far. More than I even thought I would for a spinoff of the Rocky movies.
Me too. But for Ant-Man and the Wasp, I thought, I will say, I think it was better than the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the first one a lot. I rewatched all of the movies that had Paul Rudd in them in the Marvel movies. So, I was kind of getting caught up, seeing if I remembered or if I forgot stuff, but also gave me a reason to rewatch some of the Marvel movies. But I will say this was probably, the storyline was great. The villains were great. The Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet character was awesome. All around, I agree. This was for sure a B+ movie.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rudd, anything that Paul Rudd has been in that I've watched, I've really enjoyed. I think Paul Rudd, just like Tony Stark. Wow. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Paul Rudd is Scott Lang. So, I just feel that, everybody had their excuse me, had their parts, and they killed those parts. Just Johnathan Majors killed it a little bit more.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yep, he was funny.
He was really funny.
He was like, what did he say? Oh, he was like, she's wild.
Yeah.
Really wild.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny because Bill Murray, he's getting a lot of hate right now.
Really?
Yeah. For the way, like, it's coming out that he's treated people on set badly and, you know,
I can see that.
Women poorly and stuff like that. But like, he plays these characters that you kind of don't like, but like, you don't, it's fun to not like that character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I hope that's not really Bill Murray. Like, would I not like Bill Murray? Because I like all his movies. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that too much because that wasn't a big part of this film. MODOK. What'd you think about MODOK?
Oh my goodness.
I forgot MODOK was going to be in this movie, and I loved it.
Dude, I thought it was awesome. And he played MODOK so well because MODOK is kind of a joke in the MCU, so, or in the Marvel comics. And it's just this big head with little arms and little legs. But, okay. It was hilarious when they pulled him out of the water or whatever he was in. You saw his little booty cheeks.
Yeah. He's putting him in his little suit. Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
The movie was kind of more of a PG-13 type movie. I felt like I don't even know. It might have been rated that because of some of the language in it and stuff. But it wasn't too bad for the kids or anything at all. Now I can't help but compare MODOKs though. I kind of I thought that I'm blanking on the guy's name that played MODOK. He was in the first Ant-Man, and I thought it was.
I think was his name Dylan or something.
I thought his name was Corey something, but I'm blanking on his name now. But he's definitely somebody that you would recognize. But Patton Oswalt played MODOK in the Hulu series. And I'm like, for what they did, for the way they did it by just blowing up the guy's face and everything.
Oh, sorry. Corey Stoll, you were right.
Yeah. They could have gone with Patton. I felt like in this movie too. They could have gone with Patton and kept him in it. Who do you think did a better? Because I liked what they did, but if it were me, I would have gone with Patton Oswalt. What would you say? Did you watch it? You watched that show, right? On Hulu? Yeah. Great show.
Yeah, I would say for a comedic tone, MODOK, I would say definitely Patton Oswalt. I think what Corey Stoll did with MODOK was what was needed for this film.
You said, but he was.
And I
go ahead. Sorry, no, you go ahead.
Well, because we knew that Michelle Pfeiffer's character was alive at the end of the first Ant-Man movie. Spoiler alert. So we kind of figure, what happened to Corey Stoll's character, Darren Cross. His arm started to shrink at the end of the first movie. His, just part of his limbs were getting smaller and all this stuff until, he supposedly died. But obviously that wasn't it. He got, deformed, and we saw that Kang, ended up getting him up and running again. So it was kind of cool to see a full circle of the Darren Cross character coming back as MODOK. So I feel like they paid off his character, the Yellow Jacket, off really well when he came back as MODOK. So.
Yeah, they did do that. You're right. They did do that, and it made sense. I don't know. Because I felt like he did have like a comedic tone to him still. Right. Because you can't take MODOK too serious. But that's why I thought, man, they really could have used Patton still. And I think it would have worked. But you're right that, and of course that's what anyone would say. Not to say that but it was a payoff from the first movie. So to have him in it made more sense. I just was like, I really liked Patton as MODOK before.
No, I totally agree. I did too.
Paul Rudd, I thought he was really good in this, but again, I just felt like this was maybe kind of the first Ant-Man movie that felt bigger than all the Ant-Man movies. Like it just felt bigger than Ant-Man himself, really. Even though it was.
He did say there's always room for growth.
Yeah. And I'm saying it was funny that this movie felt so big because it's about the quantum realm.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. Peyton Reed directed this one, directed the others, directed other movies like Bring It On, Yes Man. Maybe
such a good movie.
Maybe wouldn't be the person that I would have thought would be directing this big, huge spectacle of a movie, but it makes sense with the comedy and stuff, from before. But there weren't any other Avengers though, right? It was really funny though, really funny in the movie where the dude's like giving him free coffee because he thinks he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But that also again kind of goes back to what I'm saying is like, yeah, good thing they've got a star like Paul Rudd playing Ant-Man and not like Grant Gustin, because then if that's why you get these Ant-Man movies standalone, right? Because Ant-Man's not like the hugest Avengers character, no pun intended. But you know what I'm saying? Because like,
yeah,
I know that there are reasons that go beyond just whatever, but you've got 3 Ant-Man movies and you don't even have the Hulk having his own movie.
Yeah.
So, but again, like I say, I went into this movie thinking, it's the Ant-Man, it's going to be all right. But I really came away thinking that was a really good story. Great cinematography. They put a lot into this movie and I thought it paid off really well. And again, I don't know what this movie would have looked like with no Johnathan Majors in it. And I love the way they set up, and they really explained his character very well because, the man at the end of time that we saw wasn't this Kang that we saw in this movie.
Right.
And that's what I thought was really good is at the end, spoilers, when you see the other versions of Kang, Johnathan Majors is playing them all differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. And so we're going to get, I just honestly, the fact that Johnathan Majors is Kang the Conqueror, and I don't know anything about Kang, and I'm looking forward to the next movie, like this whole arc, that he's going to be in, says a lot. I think they did a great job.
And I really think that it's cool too because we got a little bit of Kang in Loki. And the way he played He Who Remains in Loki compared to who he played Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania is 2 totally different people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to see the range of how many people he can play. It almost kind of reminds me, the only person that I've seen that can do that is James McAvoy when he did Split, like that, going from several different people and having different personalities to match those characters is amazing. And even though Kang the Conqueror, doesn't have, that what is it, DID, I believe, if I'm miscalling what it's supposed to be, I'm sorry about that. But the multiple personalities, even though that's not what Kang has, these are just different versions of himself in different universes. That's pretty neat to see. Yeah. And you could see it just in those 3 last characters you saw at the end of the end credit scene. 3 totally different characters. Yeah. But played by all the same person. Right. I wonder how they cloned him to do that, but whatever. No, I'm joking. But it was really it was really good to see. I can't wait to see more of Kang. Hopefully, obviously, we're going to be getting more of Johnathan Majors in the Loki series because the final scene, end credit scene, we saw what is Victor Timely was his name. So we'll see what happens coming up this summer with Loki with Johnathan Majors Kang people.
Yeah. What's the next movie that's out in the Marvels? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to see Kang in that, right? Would you think?
I don't think so. I don't think
Which
so.
sucks.
Unless it's like an end credit scene
like
to
some
set
kind
up
of tie-in to
the
Marvels. That's the next movie, right?
After that, yeah.
Will he be in that one?
I don't know.
He needs to be.
Whenever we get the Fantastic Four, I feel like we'll have him in that. Since
that one's so far away, though, isn't it?
I know. Well, yeah, I think it's 2025. Yeah, so in a couple of years.
Honestly,
he'll definitely be in that one for sure, though. I think.
I feel like Johnathan Majors. If I had to compare, like, what I feel like kind of career he's going to have, what he has right now, I kind of feel like Denzel Washington, like, where I'm going to watch every movie that he puts out. You know what I'm saying? He's just got that thing that makes you want to watch all these movies. He's a great actor.
Like I said, he just controls the screen. Like,
yeah, he really does.
I remember when my professor in college told me, he was like, there's some dancers that can just, can control the stage. They don't even have to do anything. They could just walk across the stage or sit on the stage. And that's all that they do. And then they'll be like, they'll get all the praise. Like, well, they didn't do anything. Well, it doesn't matter if you didn't do anything. It's how you don't do that thing, basically. So, I don't know. He just commands the screen and you just want to look at him.
Some of the other movies I was looking up just that I've enjoyed by Johnathan Majors, The Five Bloods.
Oh, yep.
Really
that was
good
really
one.
Good.
And then The Harder They Fall. That was a really good one too.
Which one was that? What was that about?
That was that Netflix. It was like not the country, the Old West.
Oh yeah. That was really good.
Yeah. So I
think The Five Bloods was the first movie that I seen Johnathan Majors in. I think that was I think so.
Yeah. Well, he's awesome. He's really awesome.
Yeah.
So. With that, I would say my final grade, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Yeah, it was 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think for what it is, and then what it sets up for the future, I would give it a B+.
Okay. Yep. Same here. B+.
I'm trying to think of a way
I might give it an A just because I had Johnathan Majors in it. So
an A for ants and a B for bees.
Yeah.
I give it a W for wasps.
There you go.
Which, by the way, Evangeline Lilly, we didn't really talk about her as the Wasp, but she was pretty cool. I really love the scene where they're going for that core, like the energy core, and like their probabilities. The way they filmed that and did that with all the CGI looked really awesome, and I enjoyed that.
Then you just had the Ben and Jerry's. Or not Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins.
yeah.
That was the only one. Like that was great.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So there was humor in this movie, but I just felt like it was a little more serious than the other Ant-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't a bad thing. But so really good. Yeah. I recommend everybody. Of course, if you've sat through this, you've heard major spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Johnathan Major spoilers.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've already seen this, and if you haven't, and you're like, "Oh, I don't mind spoilers," then go see this movie.
Yeah, go see it,
and go see it at the theater because I thought it was a good theater movie.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, Cameo, when I was going to watch it, I was kind of like, I wish this movie was playing where I could watch it at home, so I can puff pass.
Don't mess up the rotation.
Exactly. But it was a great. I thought it was a great spectacle to see up on the big screen. So I recommend seeing it on the big screen. Did you see it like in IMAX or 3D or anything like that?
I went to go see it in the Dolby Cinema theater, so I didn't get to go. I didn't do the whole 3D or IMAX. I do want to go see it in IMAX though.
Would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't really do 3D movies. The last 3D movie I saw was the Avatar Way of the Water, and that was just by accident. I didn't notice that I bought tickets for a 3D showing, and I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think the first time I saw Avatar, the first movie, was in 3D as well. So it kind of almost, went hand in hand. But there are some movies that I can't do in 3D.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really feel like it needs to be in 3D. I feel like this one was definitely a 3D film. So if you like 3D movies, I say go check it out in 3D. But I do want to see it in IMAX though.
Yeah. I really.
What about you?
I just saw it at just a regular theater here in Midwest City. So I don't really do 3D. I would. IMAX would be the way to go, in my opinion. But yeah, I just thought, like I say, the CGI, the green screen stuff they did, the special effects was just super dope. Like really cool.
Yeah.
So if you go see it in IMAX, I bet it looks really good. Really good. So yeah, I give it a high B plus though. I'm gonna give it like an 87, 88. And you're giving it like a A for Johnathan.
I give it an A for Johnathan Majors. Yeah.
I definitely give his performance an A. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, I've probably gone on a little bit too long about Johnathan Majors, but I felt like he left me wanting way more.
Yeah. I totally agree. And there's a lot of him to give. So we'll see what happens in the next several movies.
Yeah, you're right. There is. You're right. So, all right, Cameo. That's Nerds to Men on Films. Definitely.
Yep. And I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't put this up. I just now realized.
I know. I was like,
had it up the whole time.
I saw you put that up here, and I was like, oh, I hope he's not going to want to record this whole segment again.
No, we're good.
Let's run it back. Run it back.
Right. Start from the top.
Yeah.
Start from the top.
Nah.
But yeah, sorry. I love this poster. This poster's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So you can't see Johnathan Majors, but let me see. There you go.
Yeah. I liked his scars too.
Yeah, that was dope. That was really dope.
Because it looked kind of like he was crying. But they made him look pretty badass too. So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
this
definitely
was dope, man.
With this movie, hated it, but in the best way.
In the best way ever.
Yeah. Hated it in that I loved
movies. 2 snaps around the world.
I give it 2 tiny small snaps. The quantum snaps.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, Cameo. That's a wrap.
All right, man. So. Y'all know what to do, right? Do they, or should I tell them?
Tell them.
Keep it nerdy.
Hate it.